podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? When I was hitting him with body punching, I heard him, actually he was crying in there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on?
BoxingVoice.com.
So you knew you had him by that time? Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Beyonce Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ.
What up? Welcome back, world, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. Spontaneous one. I mean, so spontaneous, I forgot to put the breaking news logo. We're still in the morning. It's morning somewhere. Doesn't matter. It's morning somewhere. But we're here to discuss Jarrell Miller, and I don't know if we could call it breaking news as much as we can call it the latest allegations. Michael Coppinger is reporting on his social media that big baby Jarrell Miller tested positive for a banned substance yet again. Top Rank has already come out with some information that we're going to reveal as well. But this is the situation. According to Michael Coppinger, Jarrell Big Baby Miller tested positive for a performance enhancement substance, has been pulled from the July 9th ESPN card where he was going to face Jerry Forrest, who we interviewed not too long ago. On that episode, remember, Lou DiBella kind of hinted at Miller still being dirty. Jerry Forrest said he didn't care was he dirty or not. He wanted to fight him anyway. And here we are, a few days later, and a very reputable source is definitely reporting that he is dirty. Now, I guess the question of the day is going to be, really, because I know no one's going to ask this, but someone has to say it, and it'll be me. Is he going to get the same treatment as that female? And did he get this by having sex?
What?
Let me go out to my co-host from around the world.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Legs to the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from there. There's no one that can match.
Come on, man. Jarrell, come on. Come on. I'm like Jim Carrey in court in Liar Liar when I spit my water out. Come on. This is not a good look, man. You know, how do you come back from this? We got to chop this one up, fellas. Marioski.
It's me, Mario.
Yo, this is very unfortunate. So before we chop this up, I'm going to start off this part of the show from me personally with something positive. Shout out to Zero, all right, rapper from Texas, one of the kings, dropping his album Rohamed Ali today, or I don't even know it was today. I just saw it. I downloaded it. Go cop it off of iTunes, Apple Music, whatever, Spotify, whatever you're on. Yeah, it's Rohamed Ali. Sounds like it's gonna be dope. But yeah, let's chop it up. What up, Mitty?
I am the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I know you're booing me because I whipped the fighter's ass, but you know, that's boxing.
On this side of the pond, we're serious, do you know what I mean? UK Great Britain boxing is on the map.
My God, I feel terrible. I feel terrible that I'm living your event free.
Yo, what's up? That's that voice from across the pond. So what can I say? You know, I had to stop whatever I was doing because the news came out and we're talking about Big Baby, man. Big Baby doing it again. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think, except that, I don't know, the landlord was probably coming to collect again, and, you know, he had to find an excuse because the rent wasn't there. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm excited to talk about it, and I'm excited to hear a bit more about, like, the details that Ness mentioned, because I haven't actually read anything. I just saw the title. I was doing, you know, things here, so I had to jump on the show and get educated and informed on the topic, man. Let's go through it.
Look, it's a sad moment, but I'm going to come out and say I'm waiting to see, is he really positive? Is he really, you know, because his sources right now, and I'm not saying Coppinger's sources are wrong. I reached out to Coppinger. I wanted to get him on the show. He said he was going to be busy at least for the next hour writing an article. I didn't ask as to which. I just assumed he's talking about this one. Reached out to Lou DeBella. Lou said, I'm not coming on, but in all capital letters said, didn't I tell you so? I said, Lou, well, come on. We could talk possible replacements. We can talk, you know, what's next for Jerry. You know, we don't have to touch on that. You can simply say you're not at liberty to discuss that at the moment because it's still something that's happening. But we got a super chat from Ohio Runs Boxing who says, laughing out loud emoji, I woke up to this BS with the shaking my head emoji. Yeah, man. That's kind of how I took it, guys. I'm going to be short and sweet. While not I'm not going to condemn him because no official source, you know, like right now it's sources and all credit to Coppinger and respect to the hard work that he does. But until someone says Nevada, somebody popped them, I'm going to say these are allegations. That being said, it was very sad. And I read the message and tried to make sure that it was a recent one and it wasn't like someone spoofing, trying to use the old one from when he tested with AJ. Very saddening to hear.
Yeah. Listen, Mike Coppinger, real quick, I'll read the tweet. This is from 58 minutes ago, and this is where the rest of the boxing world is getting this news from. It says, breaking. Jarrell Big Baby Miller has tested positive for a performance-enhancing substance and has been pulled from the July 9th fight with Jerry Forrest on ESPN. Sources tell The Athletic. Miller was set to fight Anthony Joshua last year before testing positive for 3 PEDs. So that's where we are at this point. Like you said, it's not to, you know, suggest that, you know, Mike doesn't have the beat on this. I'm sure he does, and I have no reason to not believe it. It's just, you're right. We do have to wait until somebody comes out. The thing is, like, Mike doesn't have the and he would say this himself. He doesn't have the ability to shut the fight off. It's not like he is coming out. He's reporting from, you know, he did his investigative journalism, you know, and, you know, he's great at it. And so definitely this is no reason to think this is not true. But again, we do got to wait for the official word just because that's the way it works.
But Mario, the one thing that seems to be sure though is that the fight is off. Like definitely. the reason, you know, we have to wait and understand exactly what's going on and, you know, what kind of substance or whatever. You can't just accuse someone until his side comes out clean, right? So he has to have like the opportunities to defend himself or whatever, right? But if the fight is off, it seems plausible that it's PED. It's either PED or COVID in these days and age, right? So yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna report something, but I'll say this little fake joke. Not really a joke, but I mean, wouldn't it be funny if all of a sudden Top Rank is like, no, he's off the card for COVID. Michael Coppinger jumped the gun. Not that I want that to happen because I don't want Coppinger to not look right.
No, of course not.
Because he reports and we, you know, he breaks news all day and we, you know, we report on it all day.
He does his job, we do ours.
So
and
that being
said, a lot of times.
That being said, Lou DeBella added Sam Jones and said, I am beyond angry at boxing. Our entire industry is shameful for not having compelled him to be tested after the AJ fiasco. Where was every U.S. commission or the ABC or the rankings organizations? I have known Big Baby forever, but this is strike 3, and he needs a psych evaluation. Let me just double check that was Lou and not Sam, because he was replying to Sam. So let me see what Sam said. Sam had said, if you've met Jarrell, he's real happy. Excuse me. If you've met Jarrell, he's real top guy who I am honest I can get on really well with. But this shit is inexcusable. And this surely means game over for him in boxing, and rightfully so. I genuinely believe it's a mental thing with him, and he can't box without PEDs. Emoji of an X, red X, and emoji of thumbs down. That was Sam Jones, the manager of heavyweight Guido Villanella, and he's got another heavyweight. Who's the other heavyweight? Oh,
Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce. And
the big man.
And the other message that I read was Lou DiBella responding to him. And Lou is on a tear. They've had a whole conversation. After that, Lou went on to say, I thought he'd be dirty. Said so on the record. Didn't think he'd get caught. Knew he was tested when we made the deal. But it was under 4 weeks before the fight. More cheaters are sophisticated enough to cycle down en masse. Karma worked correctly here. Hashtag boxing. So Lou holding nothing back.
Hey, Ness, I put a fight hype video on the pre-pro. They got some good chop up sound bites. Give a good narrative on this.
But
it's quick.
In terms of the mental side, though, I think very quickly you mentioned the mental side, but like his opponent, like that you were that was going to fight him on the 9th of July, mentioned that also. He said like this is a mental side. This is the type of thing he needs to do. So when I heard that, I didn't think of it too much, but it's interesting that this is happening and it's all coming out, right? So
I found it real interesting because we just had Jerry on, and the way the talks were going and the way Mr. Lou DiBella was talking, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's almost like they know, but they don't want to tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they hear things, but they don't want to say it's confirmed. And these are the things that can ruin a boxer's career, man. Like this, you mess up the biggest payday of your life, then you come back quickly. In most people's eyes, you come back quickly, and then you mess up again on your return. You didn't even give yourself a chance.
Allegedly, because let me see if it's still like that. But when I Googled Jarrell, no one is writing this. Is still Coppinger. Let me just Google again.
Well, he's probably got a beat on it. That's the thing is like, in the industry, it's like when you got your source, nobody can get that from you. You know what I'm saying?
But Mario,
like one thing when it's like
he already let the cat out the bag, so everyone is gonna be writing about it, right?
I know, but what I'm saying is, if there are no reports yet, it's because he has his source, which is probably being played very close to the chest.
Talk Sports is reporting it, which is Michael Benson. World Boxing News, they're reporting it.
They're reporting it based off of Coppinger's, reporting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming they have to do their due diligence also,
Definitely.
right? They can't just say, Coppinger is
they're gonna say that's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say according to Mike Coppinger.
That's what they're saying right now.
But to be honest, like again, you mentioned it before, and I do believe like for him to say so and for him to be specific about the reason with PED in the title or in the message, I want to think that it's like a pretty reputable source.
Yes.
And he wouldn't put it out there just like that, right? So I think he's like a good enough journalist and to be careful about what he does. And in the past, he hasn't really have an history of not reporting the truth, right? So it's sad to say, but it seems to me like it's pretty sure and it's pretty true, right? So
yeah, listen.
Well, here's the karma in all this.
I think that you're right. Go ahead.
Here's the karma in all this, and I quote: "I'm coming for everything and everyone. No one is safe. Say hello to the bad guy. Everyone wants to portray the superhero. We don't live in a sunshine world. I'll never be the superhero in my world. The majority of the time, the villain wins. End quote, Jarrell Miller.
Yo,
we heard that one.
That's crazy. Listen. We talked about, him and then, Jared Anderson, who's calling himself the Big Baby, and we were talking about good guy versus bad guy. This puts Big Baby Miller in a bad guy situation. And look, again, I think we definitely do need to wait for the final word, but I'm treating this. Look, I know Mike Coppinger, not personally, but I know him well as a journalist. I followed him for a long time. He would never, ever put this out if he didn't have a real beat on it. So I'm going through this with the assumption that it's true, and there's no place for him in the sport anymore. You want to do this? Go fight the Mountain. Go fight Eddie Hall. Go fight dudes that have taken steroids. Okay? Go fight dudes that are okay with that. And they want the boxing matches, so you could go fight them. But there's no place for somebody. Like, I was all about second chances for this man. I really felt like we shouldn't pull the trigger so quickly on Big Baby. Give him another chance, all right? This is America, the land of second chances. But that's it. That's it. Because it's like the whole adage of fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But this is something different because you're shaming people in a sense that, if you get away with this, you could kill somebody. You could damage them. You could brain damage them. Like, this is not something like there is no safety net in this. If you're lying or if you're cheating or if you're doing these things to this degree, I'm sorry, you're done. Lifetime ban. That's it.
I hear you, Mario, but like the one thing that I really can't get my head around, right, is Big Baby surely knows that, it was his second chance. In the division that he's in, the name that he has and the hype that he has behind him, he's really messing up like millions, right? So he can easily be slotted on a comeback and be built up to a fight against one of the big top 5 fighters, right? So that's at least like $1 million at the very least, like 1 million, 2 million, whatever, right? So you passing on big money, and why? Because of a mental state. That's what it sounds like. Your inability to stay clean, and maybe you just can't fight without it, right? But that's crazy. If it was me, I don't know. I'd rather take that ass beating instead of just like juicing, and then I don't know, man.
You can't wash
Honestly,
this off. You can wash your ass beating off. Hey, you had a bad day at the office, all good.
Yeah,
it's hard to wash this off.
Yeah, honestly, I want this to be wrong, man, because I know people are gonna hate me for it, but I wanted to see him fight versus
me too.
Versus
certain
people.
We all do. We all do. We all wanted to, but then not in those circumstances. And
my thing is, Mitty, you just got caught. Like, how are you that person?
That's what we're talking about. Like, how? What is it like mentally?
Did he think he could get slicker? I mean, he mentioned Victor Conti in that fight hype clip that I sent you. I don't know if you still haven't looked at it. It's really quick. It's like 1 minute 36 seconds or something like that.
Well, it's over, bro. Well, that's old, man. That's Jarrell Miller. That's old. But what's new is Keith Idek just put out a article. Shout out to Rob. Carl Moretti. He's Top Rank's vice president, and I quote, "We are aware of the situations." Carl Moretti, Top Rank Vice President of Boxing Operations, told BoxingScene.com. He will be placed on temporary suspension by the Nevada State Athletic Commission on Monday morning. We are currently working on a replacement opponent for the main event on July 9th. That's all he could give, really.
So it's a confirmation.
It's a confirmation.
Confirmation, yeah, because he's the president, so it's true. The thing is, are they gonna drop him now?
Oh, they have to, man. Like, so it's difficult.
Now we got to see which one.
Well, wait a minute.
Positive
let me help you guys. Let me make this a little more thought provoking here. Let me play devil's advocate here, and that's why I'm continuing to use the word allegations, and I'm not putting fault on them just yet. What's to say? And I guess the only way to would have proven this is to be on 365 Dave the minute he tested positive with AJ. Come clean and get on VADA. But how do we know this isn't something that's still in his system? Like, how do we know? How do we? Hold on.
From when? Yeah.
From the time when from
AJ.
No, there's no way.
Hold on.
There's no way.
Hold on. How do we know this isn't from the first time? Second, Dillian White tested positive for something that can't be digested into the system orally, only injected, and it was small trace amounts. And you know, they didn't give him any fault. Like, maybe he didn't finish cycling off. I don't know anything about steroids and how long it takes to cycle out, but can we be 100% sure it's not something that was already in the system?
I can tell you.
We don't even know the drug.
I don't know.
We don't even know the drug yet.
I'll take the bullet here.
We don't even know the drug yet.
I'll take the bullet here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is that we don't even know the drug yet. We don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
Until Billy Joe popped, I didn't know nothing about nasal sprays.
No, listen, you're absolutely right. I just want to prevent the narrative that this could be something resulting from that last test, okay? Because I do have firsthand experience with steroids, and I can promise you, because again, I got mine through a doctor, my actual physician, not some feel good doctor, and the testing that's done. The only way you can really find trace amounts after this long is to test the testosterone levels that you have. And only then you'll get an indication of what usage somebody's had. But even that isn't necessarily a reputable source unless the person can confirm that they have taken steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to see low testosterone levels and you're going to assume that that person has low testosterone. You know what I'm saying? Like, the actual issue of having low testosterone. But that's not to confirm that they've used steroids. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened with me. I was in that situation, and the doctor prescribed it for me. And then the only way after that to test is by checking the testosterone level. So there's no way that narrative fits.
For me, it's not even about that narrative. Like, so I don't want us to go down that road of bringing other names into the conversation. I just heard like Dillian White and everything. Like, so I really don't want us to go down that path because we're talking about one individual here, and that's not great for boxing. We don't want our boxers, we don't want the figures that we like to be involved with those type of news, right? Because it's always going to put like a stain on the sport, and people are going to say, oh, it's a dangerous sport. That's right. You go into the ring, you can hurt someone. But once someone pops dirty and once someone has like a history of doing this, and it doesn't seem like it's allegation anymore here, we have to be serious and we have to look at that individual, right? And, I don't know where I stand with lifetime bans, but I do know where I stand with people doing that repeatedly, especially when they know that they're going to be on like under the watchful eye, right? Because it's not so long ago that the biggest issue or the biggest like thing happened with him and AJ, right? So how is it that your next fight you're going to go through the same problems again, right? So, and that's really what we need to discuss here.
And that's why I said what I said. I don't want you to be, to take it personal because you're the UK guy on the show. Like, I didn't bring up Dillian White to take any less shine off of what's happening with him. I'm just saying one guy wasn't chastised for having small traces. Like, we still don't know what's the amount, what he popped for, what is going on. We still don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're right. We don't know, and then we can bring up like the the female boxer that you talked about. Like, how did it happen?
Yeah, I brought that up. I mean, we didn't even talk about that. Like, could he say he had sex? He was having sex the other day, and because that's what she said.
I mean, it all matters how much he got in him. Not just kidding. We gave the pass to the girls, so I mean, if something like that went about. I don't know what I would say.
So
is it substance?
Bro, if I'm Big Baby, I'm getting Top Rank to put the PR machine behind the fact that girl said, right, that she tested positive because she slept with someone. Big Baby was giving oral sex to his girl or a girl, and he got it.
Or a man. Who knows?
I mean, I ain't want to, I don't want to throw shots on things we never heard.
Well, let's just even say girl, but you're saying that a girl was on steroids.
Damn, he said, let's not just even say girl. Yo, you wow.
and she transmitted steroids to him.
Well. Don't I know?
Nah, she doesn't have the injection, so she can't do that.
I know this sounds far-fetched, but let's keep in mind if you follow him on social media, he's surrounded by bodybuilders, so he could be sleeping with bodybuilders. You never know.
Sure, but first of all, the type of steroids that women take is very different. I'm not say that he wouldn't pop, but the way that you would transmit it, how would that even be possible?
Oral sex.
Because remember,
going to town.
But I'm saying though, the way that it worked in her situation was oral sex. It came from something very specific.
They weren't specific as how she got it. They just said sex.
But she alluded to it on IG.
I think
clear as day.
What? She said she slept with someone. Nothing. Mitty, you're the sexologist here. How could we distinguish? How could we distinguish missionary from fellatio just because someone typed on a Twitter message? Oh, I slept with someone and tested positive. Mario always trying to cheat.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do that. But however, it's probably it's down to the substance, right? So I think like Top Rank or any other PR machine that is behind Big Baby knows how to handle this thing, and there's some things that you can't hide from. When he tried to just come out with excuses for the AJ one, right? So it started off, hey, let me come up with an explanation as to why it happened, and all of a sudden, like a whole list of different drugs came up and some things that you can't really defend, right? So it may be a situation.
It's interesting, right, Mitty? Because you said don't mention any other names and stuff, and we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, right? But like Sam Jones tweeted out, he said, "What's worse, Miller is definitely not the only one doping right now. The others just haven't been caught, right?" And then you go and look at the time that we've had away from boxing, and Mary, you could probably chime in on this, like cycling in and out. How good was this time for cheaters to go ahead and cycle out, and maybe you weren't as good as you thought, and you ain't cycled totally out on time.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, and here's the other thing about it. Like, even if you're cycling off, there's no way of preventing the test of coming up positive without like some serious prep work by a chemist. Like, you have to have already been taking masking agents. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, you're absolutely right, Doomy. This was like a wild west time. And it's like, think about the guys that, aren't being tested right now that are going to be able to cycle up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just saying those are the facts. Like, it is a time where this is more prevalent or could be more prevalent. And it's unfortunate, though, like, because this dude, I mean, I think everybody would have given him a second chance. Yes, you would have had people that would have, brought up the accusation or the steroids. But at this point, it's like, yo, he just did this to himself. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, this is on him, responsibility wise.
I agree, and I think, like, to come back to Sam Jones' point, I don't think he's not bringing names specifically. He's bringing like knowledge of an issue across the sport, and I think his point and something that we should all get behind, and I'm sure like we all are, right? Because I've heard us all individually speak about this and speak on the topic. We all for finding a solution that get rid of, PED use or performance enhancement use in the sports of boxing, because it is dangerous. And hearing it from people that manage fighters, hearing it from people that are so close to them and the way they train and what they do, and have knowledge of not just one gym but multiple gyms, it seems like that's an issue that exists in our sports. That we really need to find a way to deal with. We understand that VADA is there, but obviously it's not the most efficient way to dealing with it because it's quite expensive and it's limited to a certain number of fighters, right? So the real question is that how do we just do that across the sport and remove that bad reputation from the sport, right?
It's pretty hard, man, when you got this much money involved.
It's got to be the promoters, guys. The promoters.
Yeah, they got to shun him.
And the broadcaster, because guess what? The broadcaster should be taking up a majority of the bill, or the portion of the site fee, the majority should go to this drug testing, because you're the one putting it on TV. You're the one subjecting your viewers to a possible murder.
Murder, yeah.
But unfortunately, it goes back to what Mitty said. You know, somebody's going to try to make money if they can. You know, if there is not an active campaign from journalists, fans, fighters, everyone, commissions, to have him banned from the sport, and he is allowed to compete at some point, there will be a promotion that will put him on.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
He's a name. Unfortunately, he's a name, and he's gonna draw something. So they're gonna even if it's a smaller promotion. And it's sad because this was supposed to be his debut back for us to see if he was still that guy that could throw that many punches. He's in the top 3 for throwing the most punches per round for heavyweights. Average is 21 or something like that for heavyweights. He threw 63 punches around. So it's like, you're landing that much, you're doing all this, and you're that big. Okay, let's see you do it without it. And boom, we don't get that. Mm-hmm. So when are we going to get to see the real you? This was it, man. This was it.
Super chat.
Go ahead, brother.
It hurts.
Ryan O'Rourke says, Big Baby addicted to PEDs. He like a baby addicted to his mom's breast milk. LOL.
And shout out to Andre.
We got let me get to a few more here. We got Eso, who says 300-pound volume puncher. Laugh out loud. Makes sense, to be honest. Ohio runs boxing. We said that one, but we'll say it again. He says he woke up to this BS. Pound for Pound Boxing Channel says, I'm so mad, but let's wait for the B sample. Shaking my head emoji. Andre Diakonu, Pound for Pound supporter, says, again, Miller. Come on, man. Another Algieri live right down the road in Long Island. No. He meant, he said, come on, man. Another Algieri live right down the road in Long Island. Come on, Big Baby. Find a reputable nutritionist. Put him on payroll. Yeah, nutrition ain't the issue. I mean, that's for the diet.
Yeah.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller's Instagram page erased.
Listen, but it is the issue in the sense, because if you are trying to get stronger or faster, you got to do it with nutrition. You know what I'm saying? That's the answer. Nutrition and supplements.
The answer is the right way. The long and hard way is nutrition. That's what you're trying to say. But on top of that, there's like the drugs that are available, right? If you can't handle it, you know. Yeah.
Yo, Jerry Forrest said what Doomy saying when he said, Mitty saying when he said he heard that Big Baby is lazy in the gym. That's why he takes the PEDs to make up for the lack of hard work. That being said, we were just on this show, not this particular episode, but on another episode talking how, or maybe it was on Overtime or Untitled, but we were definitely talking about how, you know, James Prince is this dude, and you don't say this, you don't do that, and you be careful around James Prince. James Prince is his manager. I mean, you messing up the church's money now. Is this going to be a problem with James Prince, or do you see him fixing this issue for Big Baby? Does James Prince cut him? Does Top Rank cut him? Where are you guys at with what happens next?
There's some people you can't work with because of that mental side, right? So if you don't cut him now, when do you cut him? Because if it's something that's going to happen repeatedly over and over again, and remember, it's losing money. He's messing up the church money himself by going into this fight, going through a build-up, having like money already agreed, and all of a sudden having to cancel those fights. So he's also a liability. If that's what he's going to do on a consistent and continuously, is the one that's going to mess up the church money, really. And those promoters and anyone involved with him either needs to fix the problem at the root, which seems to be what we're talking about, like the mental side of it. And it's almost like addicted to it, right? He needs it to think that he needs to perform. So if you don't deal with that problem, then he's the one that's going to cause problem for you all the time. So they need to get rid of him, in my opinion. But, you know.
Yeah,
as a promoter,
I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah, as a promoter,
his Twitter's still up, but not the Instagram.
Yeah, how do you? Yeah, because he still has to communicate somehow, PR somehow. Twitter's the way to go. But He erased the IG. How as a promoter do I go near this guy now? Like how am I supposed to put on a fight when this much heat is on you? Like what am?
Well, I don't know, man. I think that people are still gonna tune in for the same
No,
reasons.
listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I think he
have
lost
that
more
answer.
importantly the respect of the fans. Most
Absolutely.
importantly, the respect
No,
of the
I
fans.
think the respect of his
peers.
Yes,
The
of his peers. You know, his
The
colleagues.
whole sport.
His colleagues.
This
They're
is
looking at him
always
like,
going
whoa.
to come back, right? So whenever he's in a fight with someone, like if he
breaking
carries on fighting,
news.
people are gonna throw it to his face all the time.
If I was a promoter, I'd put him in like a hotel. You ain't leaving. You're gonna be under. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell y'all what.
Baby, you ain't going nowhere.
Let me tell y'all what. One of the first. Go ahead.
Breaking news: Clarissa Shields takes to her social media and says, "Damn, some people never learn."
You see, like, and again.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mario, please.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I got you.
I was gonna say again, it just talks to you about like a habit. Some people never learn means to me that hey, we know about you, we know how it goes. Like, but please, that's your last chance. So fix it. But you never learn, man. You're that kind of dude, man. So
yeah, listen. The one thing that I learned, being a publicist for 6-8 months that I was, is time is the tool that most people use when marketing, being a publicist, managing. So how does he solve this? How does a promoter solve this? They're going to try it with time. And that's why we have to be talking lifetime ban, because unfortunately there will come a time where, look, it was just like, look at Billy Joe Saunders. Okay. Everybody was in an uproar about the video that he put up. Right. And people were saying he doesn't deserve the Canelo fight. He should lose the Canelo fight. Now it's really a distant thought. People are back talking about him being, the guy that's going to fight. So time will fix a lot, but in this case, it can't be allowed to be forgotten, swept under the rug. It has to be taken out of the hands of promoters, managers, and something has to happen. We have to set a precedent, because if this man is allowed to fight, it sends a message to everybody in the sport that there is no repercussions. You can keep getting caught. You can keep getting fights canceled. You can keep ruining promotions. You can keep stalling out your career and fights and challenges, and no repercussions will happen. And that can't be the precedent set.
Real quick, Mitty, if you guys haven't done so, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button because you are enjoying the content. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that notification bell so that you get the notification every time we go live. This is our third live stream today, and we're trying to get to that 115,000. We're at 114,744. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Thank you.
428 watching. Subscribe, champies.
But I also don't think, we talked about like how do you fix this with him specifically, right? And I'm thinking how other industry deal with those kind of things. Like, if you have like your star entertainer, I don't know, your Whitney Houston, who's going through kind of like type of addiction or mental issues with, drug consumption and stuff like that.
Well,
you just take the time to just like rehab them and everything. But in his instance, the big problem is that he's not just singing and dancing and entertaining people. He's in there with someone else that he can hurt and he can kill. So that's the biggest problem. And also, Big Baby is not that guy. He's not indispensable to the division. Obviously, we want to have him as a name. He's like that 300-pound guy that throws a lot of punches, so it's kind of an attraction. He has a mouthpiece on him. He can speak. That's good. But he's not necessarily that guy that is indispensable for the current mix in the heavyweight division. We have drama, we have excitement, we have characters. We have Tyson Fury, you have AJ, you have Wilder. All those guys can have like good fights for the next 2-3 years, right? So that's the thing. So at this point, I think you just like, you have to drop the guy, right? And really make him learn from his mistakes, right? So.
Yeah, where in history have we had this happen? You know, this back to back to a fighter. I mean, look, PEDs has been around forever. Let's not act like it hasn't. Why is this so distasteful and surprising to us at this moment from this fighter? You know, it's because it happened the way it did. You know, you screwed up a huge fight, which in essence kind of like people could start blaming him for, like, you know, messing up what happened to the Wilder and AJ fight, because it didn't happen because everything changed. So, you know, why are we being why are we angry? Why are we upset? It's because it happened recently. You ruined one of the biggest fights that probably could have been made at the time in introducing AJ to the United States, and you do it again. And then you paint yourself as the bad guy. You spit at the wind and it hits you in the face. Everything you were saying, you are the bad guy now, my friend. And I hope that this is all just something that you might have just by mistake. I hope it is a mistake, because it's a bad look, champ.
Yo, Doomsday, I don't know if you know this, but you use like kind of like Ricky Hatton kind of quote there. You remember when he said to Mayweather, "You're pissing in the wind, son. You're pissing in the wind." You know?
Oh, yeah.
This guy's coming back onto
Well,
you.
that's what we say, you know what I'm saying? Don't spit in the wind, because it'll hit you in the face, man. You're pissing in the wind.
Don't piss in the wind, man.
He took a long piss in the wind, bro, and this is no good for him. And again, like, you know, we're something in deep down inside of me is still being hopeful, because all of this is fresh, guys. It's still fresh, even though it's coming from the proper sources. I want somebody like, you know, Vada to come out and give us the breakdown on how much was found and what's really going on, because in investigating this, we're going to get better at catching these cheaters, you know. This is, and I don't know, and I don't understand how you don't get that. This is a sport where you can lose your life, man.
It's the broadcaster, man. The broadcaster and the promoter need to split this. This cannot continue. You know, you can't have a guy being promoted on ESPN and then test positive for banned substances.
Listen, and the thing is too, nobody agreed with his punishment in the first place. Like, you know, we all said it seemed light in the first place. You know what I mean? So that's what gives this such a bad look. It's like, when you look at, and I can't think of anybody off the head other than Nick Diaz, who was punished by a commission unfairly and given a ban over something like marijuana. Bro, that was ridiculous. But then to have somebody get punished, not even as severe for PEDs, like, it's already a bad look. So now you're in the situation where you fell again. I mean, it's over. It's done. Yo, super chat from Jared Lloyd. He says, Hamburger Miller just can't put the drugs down. The hamburger man wants the easy route. He don't want to work hard for it. Top tier bum lord.
And the thing is, you can't even defend Big Baby right now, because it's like, what's his biggest win? You know
Bro,
what I mean?
only way I could defend him at this point is just me hoping that something went wrong in the testing or something.
That was the argument always. It's like, yo, he ain't got the win because he got the punches.
Hey, yo, and if he's listening right now, like, bro, like, yo, I root for you, champ. Like, you from Belize, British Honduras, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was there, you know what I'm saying? When you was AJ's face, like, I was right behind you. Like, we were in the gym. We were always out there at Sosa. Shout out to Sosa. This is no like shade, bro. It's just like, what's going on, bro?
Ness, I don't understand though. Like, what is the win? Like, I don't know. I don't even know how I'm trying to ask this.
It's like, even if anybody would have told me, like, yo, you can still get it. Like, if anybody would have told me in my camp, like, yo, you can still get this off, champ. You know, we can still cycle off. I would have said no. I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm taking another chance, man.
That's exactly why I asked, could it be something still from the past, bro?
Like, yo, Andre to go.
How could you be that crazy as to try it again? And think about it. If you really did try it again, that means it's like Sam Jones and Lou said. It's a mental thing, because like, you need that for Jerry Forrest. No disrespect to Forrest, but he's not AJ.
For every fight.
I wouldn't put it that way, right? But
no, I would, because people like, he was trying to make sure he got the win versus AJ because his life changed.
Yeah. It's like you taking PEDs and I know where Ness is coming from. It's no shade to Jerry, but like, Jerry is not on that top 10, top 5 or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, you know what, man, like we need to take this in this camp.
Yeah,
come
we
on,
gonna.
But that goes
the
back to
great
what Mitty was
conversation-
saying.
The great conversation that, and what I'm getting out of this is that the people like Sam Jones and Lou DiBella, the candid conversation that they're having on Twitter for everyone to see, kind of gives you the impression that there are two people, at least in the sport, that really want to shine the light on the problem and want to find a solution to the problem. So I'm hoping that it's not just like Twitter chat. I'm hoping that's something that they will be able to just bring other promoters and other entities in the sport round to, hey, we really need to do something
like,
about
who's
that
the
issue.
idiot who gave him this advice? Like,
forget
who's the
the
idiot? Like,
and-
unless he did it all on his own,
Is that it ain't no idiot. You do what you do. But do me, I know this is another weird question. People are like, oh, Ness, whatever. But I've been smoking like I don't know how many years now. Like, when is my test gonna be clean? I'm still stuck on how sure are we is nothing old. How sure can we be? Because every day
it's science. It's science. We none of us here are scientists, right? So none of us can tell you for sure. But
we could try to be. We could
let's
try
Google.
to be.
Or we can Google. But scientists will tell you for sure that
like
every drug has like a cycle in your body, right? So
let's say what we don't know. We don't know what PEDs, so we don't know how long it takes to cycle off. We don't know what PEDs, so we don't know exactly where his enhancement was going to come from the drug. We don't know a lot of things, and this is why I'm waiting, and it's fresh. All of this is fresh, but when the results come out and they start telling you, all right, this is what might have happened, and we could find out to see if he was cycling off and all that other stuff. But just the simple fact that if it ain't old, you did something. Patrick Day, my man, my man Buddy Bagurt's fighter, man. Tashadov, Dadashev, all these guys passing away, man, and the way it impacted the boxing community and the hurt. So it's like, who's behind you and who's giving you advice? Because if you did this all on your own, I doubt that. I doubt that you did this all on your own. Yeah, that you're able to cycle off, that you knew what to take. No, champ.
And that's the point. That's the point. I think that's what it's, obviously there's a personal responsibility that needs to be taken. We can't take anything. We can't just lighten that and say, oh, Big Baby was following orders or whatever. Right? It is a man. However, there is like,
just I'm sorry to cut you off real quick. You can go right back on beat. Coppinger just posted. Here's the full story with all details, including comments from the B-side himself, Lou DiBella. This is Forrest promoter, and also Miller's promoter, Top Rank at theathletic.com. So if you click on that, it'll take you to that.
Yeah. So my point, or the point that I wanted to finish off here is that, are we talking about a problem that is much deeper than individuals, and is it like a system that you have of doping, like systemic kind of thing, like you had in cycling, for example? I don't know if you guys watched the Lance Armstrong documentary.
Hell yeah.
There's a whole there's a whole machine behind it, and I don't want that to be true, because it means that there's a lot of people in the boxing world that will be involved and behind that. So I don't think that it's necessarily in that way. But within boxing, you have a few entities or a few people that are specializing in that kind of thing, and we have to find those people and get rid of them if it's a systemic issue, right? So
and that's the thing. We've seen it in other sports when that's the case, and it ends up being like super, super dirty. So I hope this is an isolated incident. I hope this is, Big Baby taking the initiative or whatever, or the responsibility. I hope it's not this big machine that is producing, failed test after failed test. You get what I'm saying? Like a Victor Conte type of situation. Like I don't want it to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like then this is like a problem beyond the scope of anything that we could even understand. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes it such a bigger. I mean, it's already a big issue. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is, if this is systemic, bro, whoa. Like
that's an investigation. Do we know who
exactly.
is like? Do we know who his strength and conditioning advisor is? Like you said, nutritionist. I know that in the sport, in general, like there are a few names. Every time you say, "Oh, they're involved in camp," it raises eyebrows, right? We say, oh,
yeah, like a Victor Conte,
or a Conte, a Regia, Areza, all those names. Like in the past, their name have been associated with some activities where they're trying to get their fighters like an edge, right? Any little thing that they can get. But yeah, if that's the case, those are the people also, or those are the systems that really need to be eradicated from the sport. However, I'm always gonna go back down. The way I know boxing, and I want to say that it's very limited to a few people and people that want to be part of that system. I don't think it's like a big machine or cross boxing, but the fact that we're talking about it for numerous fighters and we know that others are doing it, it's definitely something that needs to be looked at a bit deeper and to be removed from the sport.
And it's crazy that he painted himself as the bad guy, because like he's gonna be the bad guy now. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the powers that be are really gonna take it upon themselves to make him an example, to kind of quell the tsunami that's gonna come from this, especially from other fighters and maybe a hell of a lot of fans, saying the distaste for this. So, Jarrell, I don't know what to say, man. A lot of people are in the sport that have been popped for PEDs, and this has just been part of the sport. And what's sad to me as a fan is that I get inside my feelings to where I'm like, damn, like who really is the baddest man on the planet? Like,
Anthony Joshua.
It might be the guy. It might be the guy sweeping up Anthony Joshua's porch who's tougher than. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know who really truly is the alpha man. No steroids, no nothing. Like, I as a fighter start to like think like, damn, bro, like. If it's being allowed and it's been a problem for this long, boxing's been around for more than 100 years, right? And it's been, how much longer are we going to have to wait for this problem to be resolved? Like, there should be very strict measures, even stricter than now, in order for you to compete in a sport where you can kill someone. I don't know, man. It's just got me questioning a lot of things now, man.
Super chat from Andre to go to Salida, Cohen, Hearn, and now Aram, common denominator, low or little return on investment. And he's talking about Big Baby Miller. Ohio Runs Boxing says, and this is why Ohio has the real Big Baby boxing glove emoji. And I thought there was one more, I guess not.
Yeah, Michael Buffer says, Miller deleted his account on Insta? Did you lot know? Or did you not know?
See, that's why I don't think that this is. I think he's going to go on a hiatus. I think we're not going to hear from him. I mean, obviously, I don't know that, but
this is terrible. Like, if I was his friend, I'd be sad for him. We consider him, of course. Show, so I feel deep down inside, as much disgust or distaste rather, that I feel for it, I feel sad for him, man, and I feel sad for him because, you're trying to do your best. And you wanna make things right for your promotional companies, and you don't want to f things up. And this is your last chance. And I guess I'm trying to find an excuse of some sort for me. But there's no excuse, man.
We get to know people, right? We get to know people, and behind every individual, there's a story. There's much more. There's like complex stuff that happened. So I get it. Every time you've been in contact with him, or every time I've seen him, I found him entertaining. I found him like a character for the sport. So no matter how, we have like the US versus UK banter, I wouldn't wish that on him. Like, I didn't want him to pop. I would rather see him like go in a ring and do his thing, right? So it is sad, I understand, but at some point also we really have to stamp this out and say, it's sad. And we know that as a person, you're going to have some rebuilding to do. And he's going to have like strong people around him in this period of time, right? So that's really what I would like to see. People around him that support him and help him bounce back. And, maybe not in a boxing ring, but just make sure that his life doesn't go completely off the rails, right? So I can't wish any bad on him, but I also can't see myself wanting to see him in the ring and getting behind like a whole promotion of a fight and say, oh yeah, Big Baby is great for the sport. He's got a great mouthpiece, and
just
sweep
like
aside
I said,
like the PED issues, right?
Just like I said, I've been sitting here nice and quiet. You guys thinking I'm being nice and not talking over. I'm researching. And what it says here is the range of detectability time starts with as little and as few days and can go as far as 18 months after the last use of the substance, depending on various factors. And this is just an anabolic steroid, okay? So it's like I said, man, and I'm not defending him, but I'm just like, yo, how can you be that dumb? You blew $7 million. How are you gonna blow opportunity number 3? So I'm just like, it's probably something still in the system.
No, if that's the case, Ness, then I think the fight should not have been scheduled for 18 months until 18 months after he pops dirty. If his whole camp knows, the promotional company knows that the substance that he has will take 18 months for him to be completely clean. There's no reason for him to be in a ring before.
Yeah, so if you set up the fight, so that just meant, so why you set up the fight? Again, does anybody else know? You know, you're setting up the fight. To me, that's just an easy way out again. Oh, 18 months.
No.
So you know that,
No,
but you don't make
no. Do me. You guys are hypothetically assuming that not only does the promoter know, but Big Baby knows. No, I'm just simply stating by doing some Googling, you can see that there are drugs that stay in your system 18 months. I'm not stating that Top Rank knows that.
I get it, but Ness, if you can do that, why can't they do it?
We're applying what you just said to the hypothetical. So hypothetically, if he were to apply that to his story, what just happened to him, it's like, okay, we know that he was on PEDs. We know exactly the PEDs that he used. We know how long it takes for them to be out the system. So we don't have another collision with VADA or any testing. We already know this. That's what the measurements that you have to take in order for you to not bump into this. Now, if you just totally ignored it and now he pops positive, but now you're gonna go back and say, "Hey, that was from the old."
Yeah, but that's saying. But you're saying that someone took the initiative to find out what he tested for and check the duration.
Nobody knows that yet.
They have to, Ness. No. They have to do that. They have to take the initiative to research what happened with the previous test, right? So if it took you, I don't know, 20 minutes of Google search and all that to find the information that you have, a team that has like, you know, a whole lot of like professional behind them with millions at stake, they surely won't give them a pass on this. They need to do their research and they need to know also, right?
Here's the thing.
Hold on. I put my hand up, champ. I put my hand up because isn't it obvious that they didn't do the research? The dude signed to Top Rank.
No.
It's Top. Hold on, let me finish. It's Top Rank that's supposed to do the research because they signed. Like, Mitty, just step back a bit and listen to this picture. Top Rank is now going to put the blame on Big Baby. You signed the drug cheat, okay? It should be Top Rank that is held to a different standard. You decided to sign him. So you're telling us, the public, the boxing viewing public, that you said, we're going to sign you and give you a third chance, but we're not going to test you. We're going to take your word for it. I'll see you later. Go train, and we got to fight for you, Jelena. That's negligence.
Okay,
that is negligence.
Real quick, though, listen, we got to clear this up. Because I understand where you're coming from, but I've done the research, and I can tell you that you're thinking of this like if somebody's failing for like cocaine or marijuana, like that's in their system. The only way that you're 18 months testing around for the same thing is they're looking at other aspects like your testosterone levels. They're looking at your estrogen levels. Yeah. They're looking at all of that, and HGH. That you can fail, but you're not going to have that substance in your body for 18 months. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, he could fail a test that would be, I guess, reflective of what he already took, but he's going to fail it because the test levels are going to be off, or his estrogen's going to be messed up, or something like that. But he's not necessarily going to have that drug in his system for that long. That's not the only time I've ever heard of anybody in bodybuilding or anything. It's been bodybuilders that have failed like that because they continue to cycle on and cycle off for years with no break. And fighters really don't do that. Any fighter that would do that, they're not even like, the steroids would have a negative effect on them at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would hurt their energy levels in terms of what's the word, like biking and triathlon,
anaerobic, right?
Yes,
aerobic,
something like that, where it's like you're breathing your blood and the oxygen that gets in there. You know what I'm saying?
Anaerobic threshold, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, Ness.
And I quote, doping and length of use. The higher the dose taken, the longer the medication has been used, the more likely it is that they will show up on your steroid drug test.
That's exactly what I just said. If you're cycling on and off, if you're cycling on and off for years straight, then yeah, you run that risk.
All right.
But a person who's going to take a cycle here and a cycle there, that's not going to be the issue. You're talking about bodybuilders who are constantly on steroids, and they have permanently affected their testosterone.
Yeah,
level.
If Miller would have been constantly on steroids, he would have looked a little more chiseled.
No, and that's an even worse picture for him personally, right? So you're saying that he's been on the juice like constantly up until when he got caught, right? So that's crazy. Go for it, Ness.
Methods of injection. Oral steroids are processed faster by the body than injected ones, such as injected steroids will have a larger window of detectability. And the only reason I read that is because it tells you injected ones have a longer window of detectability. And we all know I think he was taking EPO for AJ, which has to be injected. I'm just saying there might be a very small possibility it could be from something old, or at least they could spin it. The PR, right? The PR department.
That's what I meant. That's what I was saying before. Like what type of I'm not a fool. Like you said it yourself. They should have had the responsibility to test once they signed them. You want to make sure that you have a clean fighter on it. So for you to neglect that, it's irresponsible for you as a company. You know,
not just that, they can spin it from marketing purpose, but I do not want them to, because if they spin it from a marketing purpose, it will tell you the mindset of the people in charge of organizing boxing events is more about getting the money, protecting investment, rather than protecting fighters, right? So we don't really want that. Although it might happen, and if it does happen, we really have to start questioning and then putting our foot on the necks of those people, because it now becomes an issue for the fighters, and it's money over fighters' health, which is, this is a real world, right? We know that, people are money motivating. This is money makes the world go round and stuff like that, right? But we are fans of the sports here. We're not even making any money off the sports, So let's talk about what's right for us as fans and what's right for the fighters, really, right? So.
Yeah, I think protection of the fighters is it should be number one, man. It should be number one. Every time a guy steps in there, he risks his life.
Breaking news: Lou just texted me, said Takam is in play, so it looks like it'll be Jerry Forrest, possibly Carlos Takam. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. We've been rocking out for a minute. Let's get to these callers and see what they got to say. We've been now, let me see, live here. How long we've been live, it says? 62 minutes, so we talked for damn an hour. Hey, Carlos Takam was Anthony Joshua opponent. Good enough for AJ, good enough for Jerry Forrest.
Actually, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the one that is getting pushed, right? Takam is the A side. That's strange, to have a last-minute replacement as the A side, but this is the guy that ESPN is going to push, not Jerry Forrest, right? So
absolutely, because Takam is signed to Top Rank.
Of course, yeah.
He was probably like, "Hey, I'll take this guy. Let me get that money," But Jerry's a competitor, man. So we might get a good fight.
All right, we're going out to the sponsors.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Jarrell, Detroit, Ringer, what up?
Yo, what up, Ness? Thanks for having me on the show. All right, I got a minute where I want to cook real quick. I feel like the timing on this report is just astounding because It's all about Big Baby Miller, who has the biggest payday of his career against Anthony Joshua, who tested dirty for the drugs. So once a cheat, always a cheat. I feel like Top Rank putting blame on him just to take off the fact that new photos emerged of Tyson Fury cheating, removing padding from his gloves. So they trying to distract us with Baby Miller. Like, I just think it's a lot of dirty shit going on. I don't know, like, and yeah, Tyson Fury had new photos emerge where you can clearly see the padding in his gloves removed. And I just feel like to put Jarrell Miller back in the media as a cheat is a distraction because nobody's stupid enough to do it twice, like Ness was saying, you know, and you know a lot more about the sport than I do. So I'm just sitting here saying it's a distraction. Tyson Fury's a cheat. We need to stop covering up for him. Like, look, I'm not saying he's not a good.
Got it.
Yo, breaking news. Keith Eidig, and this is me. Let me make sure y'all see me. And I'm taking credit without all the news being out, but this is me.
Keith Eidig.
Remember you've been on a roller coaster? It's like click, 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 click.
Here we go. Tell him.
Me patting myself on the back. Keith Eidig says Bob Arum just got off the phone with me and told me that Jarrell Miller tested positive for one of the 3 same banned substances for which he tested positive prior to Anthony Joshua fight. Unreal.
All right, so real quick. Let me take that pat in the back real quick. I want to take it back because you ain't out the win yet. You know what I'm saying? Let me take it back, all right? Because that doesn't necessarily mean it applies to his past doping.
Yeah, it could be that he tried to get away with the same thing he tried to get away with in the first place.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. It can mean that, but it could also mean the other.
Yo.
Look, we for some reason are trying to still give Miller the benefit of the doubt, guys. Look,
I don't want to at all.
You know, and it's sad because from I think that was Rel that called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Rel.
Yeah, you know, that's Coach Mitty's man's. Yo, shout out to Rel. Yo. But definitely, like, damn, I lost my mind on that one. Somebody pick that up.
Callers, Caesar.
Yo.
Champ.
Yo, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming back for a third time and giving us great content. Breaking news. You guys always number one, man. So, just want to say shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to TBV. But, so Mario was talking about these drugs are mostly used by bodybuilders and, you know, guys like that. Well, isn't Big Baby known to have bodybuilder friends, you know? I thought I've seen some pictures of him, you know, hanging out with a couple of well-known bodybuilders. So if Ness is talking about this could be an old thing, I mean, if he's hanging out with bodybuilders and they're constantly using, what's to tell you that he's not constantly using as well? Maybe, I don't know. That's just something I'd like to throw in there. But great show, guys.
Yo, but real quick, so we don't keep anybody holding and John. Let's just think about the fact that it wasn't from the last test, and he got caught with one of the 3.
Like that's pure craziness.
Then it becomes a thing like Lou said. We need a
addiction.
Psychiatric evaluation time. It's time to make sure that you are all there. I mean,
yeah, but someone who's addicted, that's what it is, right? Then, you know, their mind knows.
Yeah, but he's not even that type of bodybuilder. He's not even that type of. I follow him on IG. He's not Eddie Hall or none of them dudes who are like, oh, check me out today. I'm pushing up 480.
No.
Like, so how are you addicted to steroids? Like, I don't
know. Not addicted in that sense. Addicted to maybe addicted is the wrong word, but just the comfort level that it gives you. You can't go in a ring knowing that you don't have that substance in your body because that substance makes you feel like, hey, you can do something in the ring, right? Thing, so that psychology, right? So maybe he doesn't think he can do it without that. And that's what the addiction comes from, right? So.
Well, we'll go to the super chat. Vincent Macri, sorry. TBV putting in those OT hours with me today. Here's your cut.
Thank you.
Yes. So we have official word from Lou. He reached out to you officially and said Carlos Takam is currently being considered.
Considered.
Okay.
Uh-oh, what you writing? A story over there? Ah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Champ.
Let's go out to Elijah.
Little choppy there, champ.
We hear you. Just want to remind everybody, man, keep the curse words to a minimum. Thank you. A minimum being none.
So yeah, I got two quick things before I talk about Jarrell Miller. Firstly, the first caller epitomizes why we need Wilder out of boxing. His fans are just stupid, off their head. Secondly, me and Nez are similar. Me and you are similar. We don't think like everyone else. We think a bit deeper. Yeah. So my theory on this before everything came out was, when Jerry Miller kept saying, you got to do your research, guys. Wait until you hear all the facts. I thought initially that this was just a ploy that they pushed out this fake thing just so Jerome Miller can come back and say, I told you, do your research. Stop jumping the gun. So that's what my kind of theory was before. But yeah, who knows?
Hey, listen, I like a good conspiracy theory myself. I mean, it's an inexpensive, radical one, though, because I get the all publicity is good publicity, so everyone's, he's the bad guy, he cheated, and then it's all, he didn't cheat, so they still tune in, maybe?
So what, this is a PR stunt to get more eyes on Big
what?
Baby?
For that fight specifically, also.
So we go through the shenanigans. We go through this
against someone who's not known and all that. That makes even less sense. Like, and that will hurt them more, right? But who knows? Like, if you like conspiracies, like go for it.
We going out to Brooklyn.
It's pretty far-fetched.
What happened?
It's pretty far-fetched, but I can see where me, man. I love conspiracies. If you're that good of a planner, more power to you. If he ends up testing and it's like, it stings from the past, picograms, and everything gets cleaned up and the fight still happens, Jesus, help us all.
Interesting. New York got the formula. UK got the formula.
King Born, what it do?
Hey yo, peace. Listen, like my man, Ron Isley said, you're addicted. You know what I mean? He addicted to them PEDs. Give me what you got, PEDs. But like I said, y'all, if it's coming out that that's the old stuff from the past, I don't know, man. I'm maybe with you, Ness. It could be conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? It's crazy right now. And yo, before he box again, get him mentally checked out. He might have to go to G building. Everybody in Brooklyn know Kings County, G building, whatever. Get his mind checked out before you put him in the ring. And go Carlos Takam. Let's see Carlos Takam knock out Jerry Forrest. Peace.
So I trust God's word. And God's word's been treating me very well. I'm healthy, strong, and about to knock Earl Spence out in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen, champ.
We going to Trey in the Bay.
Man, I know that dude didn't test positive. I'm hoping it's the Ness scenario, the John Jones scenario, the picogram scenario is just some long lasting. Because if not, that dude is a self-sabotager, man. He's sabotaging himself if this is true. And that's my call.
Man, that's the saddest point, man. Like, dude, people would love the opportunities that Big Baby is getting, man. That's why I don't want to, go ahead and pass judgment.
Bro, he erased his Insta. That's like, why'd you do that, bro?
Because the heat is hot.
But if you planned it.
No, he didn't plan nothing, man. Like, so, don't ride with
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you didn't plan it, then, like, you would have kept it on. I mean,
dog, but
the thing is, like,
even if you
mentally.
planned it, taking down the Insta gives you that look of guiltiness. Then you only come back like, boom, ha. Guess who spin that in the room?
Listen,
he spin all of them.
If mentally you need, like, you're addicted to PEDs and stuff like that, it means that also comments and everything that you'll see on IG must be damaging you also, right? So that's why he took it down, man. getting the hit.
He ain't worried about nobody's comments, man. It's Big Baby. Big Baby. Let's go out to Info Joe. What up?
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Yo. Hey, first off, man, hit those thumbs up, man. TBB pound for pound, been putting in work all day, all week, all month, all year. Yo, this dude committed career suicide. His word is mud. He should be banned. If he doing this back to back, he do need a sports psychologist. He don't believe in himself to even give himself a chance to try to see what he got in the ring without using PEDs. That's the worst thing about it. You got to believe in yourself. I don't care if he's going to go bust abroad, go to a job interview. You got to believe you the king in that moment. You the man in that moment. Oh, it's done. This dude, he big for nothing. And if your mind can't think as big as he is, he's something wrong with that dude, man. He should be banned from the sport. Go back to kickboxing, man. That's all I got, fam. Hit those thumbs up.
He's deleted.
We going out to JT, New Orleans. What up?
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, with that comment. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yo, what's up, Ness?
What up? What up? What up?
Hey, I just got back on. I watched the boxing video. Is that y'all talked about Tyson Fury? They still talking about his gloves again?
Nah, man. Big Baby tested positive again.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know that. I guess that's the end of him. So I mean, move on to the next. I mean, he can't do nothing but cheat. That's the only way he know how to win though. So it is what it is. But hey, Ness, I think we should talk about that topic about Tyson Fury. You know, I ain't trying to change the narrative of your story, but that's what I was just that's what I just saw the story on.
All right. We'll check it out. Send me a link. Say what? They still got Fury cheat videos out here. That's two people called in. There must be some new news out there we don't know about.
There was some title I saw in the chat. I think it was Blue Blood that Wilder is still undefeated. I think or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Wow. All right. We'll check it out. Anything that's worth a check out gets one.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
King Amin.
Going out to Majid.
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
Yeah. Yo, it's funny y'all was talking about, people keep bringing in the psychology element. I'm going to make it a science class, but I'm going to say what most of we all know, but boom. Big Baby Miller is already a big dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say he was necessarily diagnosed with obesity, but say obesity or being overweight has to do with both impulse and compulse, right? So he's already challenged with that self-discipline. The way addiction work, you don't have control over your impulse or your compulse. So once you give him something that he like, which it clearly don't help him, I could see if he was looking like Cannon Briggs, you know what I mean? Like, give him a pass. Say he on testosterone, he's doing family planning, you know what I'm saying? But he's showing up the way he's showing up in his steroids. This is just a man that's just, he's mentally, and I'm not trying to say it in a disrespectful way, but he's mentally challenged with self-discipline, and he's got some things he needs to work out before he can compete at the top level. That's my call.
Yo, shout out to Abin, man. That's a good call, man. He said he's like Boo from Dragon Ball Z, man. He can't stop eating, man.
Bro, he need to stop eating them sensu beans, bro.
I'm telling you.
God, man.
Let me go out to Keem in Florida.
I open the door for audiences and all of sports to go back to the way it was in Jesus' name. Amen. It's done. The fight, I'm making $10 million. I'm not really worried about what he making on him.
I believe
That's
you,
why.
Jay.
That's why you're gonna see in Jesus' name. Amen. With Earl Spence.
Man, you're not fighting no shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Hey, I'm just listening, bro. Just jump on.
Yo, this one get me every time.
You need to call every time, every show. You need to call. I need to hear that intro every day.
Classic. Majid, talk to us.
What up, man?
What up?
Everybody. Nothing much. I just jumped on Skype because I seen it said join call and I ran into another show. So thanks for the show. Everybody need to like the video, and if you ain't subscribed, get on that. And as far as Dillian White, I ain't doing enough research to see, if he really failed that test again and he found to be guilty of that stuff, they need to just ban that man for boxing and make an example out of him, because this junk getting ridiculous. 2 times back to back. He doing that John Jones now. He gonna say it was one Pico next. But that's all I
It
got,
was
man.
Jarrell Miller, not Dillian White.
Oh yeah, well, see, they both do the same stuff, so I just drug.
You see what they do? You see what they do? I knew that, man.
Same people, man. My bad. That's all I got.
All right, Majid. Yo, he said they the same people. Yo, let me go to New Orleans.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a young fella, and he comes from the Magnolia.
Oh, see that, right? You already know how I'm about to come right now, dog. I told you this. It was like, what do it last year when I told you this shit, Ness? I told you that dude was on that dope, dog. You gonna tell me about I'm over exaggerating, I'm pushing the envelope too far. Now, why are we back here, Ness? Why are we back at the beginning now? I told you that dude was hooked on dope, man. Big Juicy, bro. Let me tell you something about Big Juicy, dog. This is a 300-pound man with the same output as Santa Cruz. And you mean to tell me you ain't been pick up on nothing else? I've been told you what this dude was doing, man. That dude is a fraud, man. And we had a debate on the back call. On the back call, we had a debate on who was the biggest clown in boxing. It was between Dillian White and Jarrell Big Juicy Miller. I told everybody Big Juicy the biggest clown in the game, man. You heard me? So now, when everything come back, and Eno prove it right, he just vindicated me, man. Whatever them people said he did, he
I hear you, man. I hear you. I don't want to celebrate, man. I wanted to come out from ESPN and then I want to hear what it is. I mean, Bob even said it was one of the 3, so I don't know, man. I just need to hear Big Baby say something, man. What happened? What could it be? I don't know.
But don't be surprised, Ness. Don't be surprised if this turns out to be what you said before. Something stood in the system.
Still in the system,
and guess what? Everything's going on, and everything will move forward. So,
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll definitely see.
Natural Wiz.
Yo, you know who it is. I'm just gonna wait for more information on this. Too many athletes are popping, man. He sounded like a John Jones situation, and Dillian White. So you know what? The smart thing to do is just wait and see if ESPN and Big Baby maybe do another crying video or something like that. Or is that Daniel Cormier? I can't remember, but I'm gonna wait. That's my call.
Yeah, I think that dude Cormier definitely was crying, but probably on TV. We going to Ohio runs boxing. What up?
That came iconic. That.
What up, guys?
What
Mario, Johnny, what up, y'all?
Cheers.
This is crazy, man. Listen, man,
I think there is no explanation for this, man. It's like I think he just have a confidence issue. He can't see himself fighting without it. I remember, man, me in high school, I wasn't confident talking to women unless I had my bling in. I had to have 2 earrings, and once I had my earrings in, I was confident. But if I didn't have them, I didn't have the mojo. I didn't have it in me. So there's some people like that. I grew out of that eventually, but I just don't think he's confident to fight without it, bro. That's sad. He shouldn't be in the game, bro.
10 seconds.
Terminated it completely, bro. We shouldn't give this man another shot just because he's a name. He has to go. I think of Patrick Day. I think about all those fighters who have passed in the ring, bro. So we have to really think about that. That's my call.
All right. Man, he has said something that I was gonna say. Made me talk about something.
Well, nah. The earrings, you know, like being confident.
Earrings, yeah. I was gonna say.
Because I think all of us have probably been through a time where we just felt like we had something added to the mojo.
Shinobi, let him just go ahead and take my thought and give his.
Yo,
no, I was gonna say
my kryptonite. Go ahead.
My kryptonite, like his story is no haircut. Yo, don't nobody want to talk to no girl without a haircut looking like this. Oh, no way. I won't even do it. If I ain't got no haircut, I'm not doing it. So I hear him with the no earrings, no hollering at a girl. Definitely get it. I mean, it don't make it any better for Big Baby, man. This is sport. This is sport, guys. I like clean sport. You know what I mean? And he's wilding right now.
I'm never use medicals. I like clean
that's
sport.
the thing. Like it's interesting, like that. You know, I get them, right? But a lot of people don't want to believe that story, so they now want to be patient and they want to hear stories like. So, and we do that for the people that we kind of like want or have like kind of like a little bit of bias towards, right? So, but if it was someone you don't like, listen. If Dillian's story came out like, hey, Dillian took PED today. No one want to hear let's give him some time, let's be patient, innocent people until proven guilty. You would have heard a lot of stuff. Even he hasn't done anything and people found a way to put his name in the conversation. They say, they're all the same anyway. Like, you know what I mean? So that's craziness, man.
OMG, I am so excited.
Yo, it's hilarious. You're right, bro. They bulked them all in. Everybody, yeah, man. Anyway, let's go to Ricky Fresh.
Yo.
Can
you hear me?
Dude,
yeah, man. This is a sad day for boxing, man. This guy is taking the piss, you know what I mean? And this just goes back to what Uncle Eddie been saying. Like in all them interviews, he was shouting and saying that Jarrell Miller is a cheat, that he needs to just own up to the thing. My man was in denial all the time because he's still taking the drugs, you know what I mean? So it's, again, the psychological thing ain't trying to admit, I'm a druggie, I'm a crackhead. He's not doing that. Fam, just own up to the thing. But it's a tough look for you American boxers, you know what I mean? Like, you got a crackhead, a booty shaker, and a crazy person. Come on, like, fix up, brother. Like, talk to your peoples.
Yo, hilarious that you're calling our fighters booty shakers, and what do you call the other one? What was the other one? Crackhead. No, and there was one more.
Crackhead.
No, he said one more.
A crazy,
a
crazy, and a
crazy
booty shaker.
A crazy. Meanwhile, Tyson Fury actually is the one that does cocaine. It's on record. And Tyson Fury is the one with mental illness. It's also on record. And there's numerous questionable videos and pictures of AJ in extremely tight clothing around only men in hot tubs, with or without clothes. I mean, hands missing, like all of us, hands on his booty. Come on, guys, stop it. We don't have to point fingers at what person looks like what. Everyone has questionable photos and videos out there. Not me, but them. You know?
Everyone, right? Everyone has videos, right?
Not me. Mitty, you got videos? Not me. You got videos, Mitty? Mitty, you got videos out there?
Nah, man. Nah, we do it behind closed doors here, you know?
Ah, Mitty twerks!
You're mad, man.
Yo, Sony Cincinnati Commish, what up?
What happened?
Yo, what up, Nas? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, yo, man, Big Baby Miller, bro. Yo, I don't even know what to say. I think Natural Wiz said it best. You know, like wait till all the information get out. I would love to go with that thought. But when you had said, or I think Doomy had said that he had deleted his Instagram, man, I'm like,
whoa.
Tony, you went R2D2 on us, champ. We can't hear you.
I was like, oh, man, it's all right. I don't want to ruin the show. I'll get y'all later. Peace and love.
All right. Greatness, you never answer my message. I'm going to assume you are not speaking. Are you? Are you? Are you? Are you? And that is a Big Nick. Talk to us. UK.
What's up, guys? Again,
what up?
Third time in a day. You know what, Ness? I just Googled oil-based steroids and how long they stay in your system for. I don't know if any of you guys done it, but I've just checked it, and it says that oil-based steroids can stay in your system for 12 to 18 months after you first took it. So there is actually some truth and credibility to what you've said, that it could be down to a previous cycle, because I know that the previous fight was supposed to take place last year June. He was caught maybe end of March, beginning of April. The only issue that I have with this, so what I'm trying to say, basically, I'm reserving my energy the same way with Dillian White, because at the end of the day, I'm going to wait till all the facts come out before I then start judging people, because I think this is only fair. I did the same thing with Dillian White, so it's fair that I do it on this situation. The only thing I think is quite damning is the fact that he's deleted his Instagram. That seems to tell you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get you. It can, or he could just simply come out with a press release stating that his lawyers are handling the situation and Big Baby will be making no more comments. I mean, look, there's ways to spin everything, but thank you for finding more information to back the claim that there is a slight possibility, even if it's slight, there's still a slight possibility that it could be the same substance, hopefully for his sake. You know, because I don't want to see a guy not be able to, fend for his family. But if he is guilty, rightfully, then, all those sympathies and empathizing with him goes out the window, right? Because, the same way he's fending for his family, he's taking an opportunity from someone else to do the same job for their family by cheating. So, again, not condoning him in any way. I'm just, like Nick, like Natural Wiz and others, I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting before I say he's a drug cheat. And Mitty, you're right. I'm guilty. That's why we need a UK co-host. I probably did, condemn and point fingers at Dillian White. You know what I mean? I got to learn from my mistakes, though. Look, I'll say this, though. This sounds a lot more incriminating than Dillian White's situation. I mean, even though Dillian White had plenty of shade, I mean, secret meetings and stuff, like, the thing is, we just got to wait. Because, look, I thought that was shady and it ended up not being. So, we just got to wait.
Yeah,
Idris, if y'all don't got to add anything, we got Idris in the
Super
UK.
chat. I don't know. You read the super chat, right?
No, that's another one from Ohio.
No. That was the same one.
I didn't read it. That's what I'm saying. That's
okay. Yeah. Big Baby will fight Dillian White for all the juice. Ohio runs boxing.
Did you read Candyman Slim?
Candyman Slim. I probably did not.
Candyman Slim 501 says Miller ain't got no more positive tests than PED Veckin, yet the criticism seems way more intense. All honesty, what am I missing here? Did Povetkin test 3 times too? He popped 3 times?
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to find out earlier because, like, I guess this is why we're being so hard on him. But if you pop back to back 3 times, damn.
Well,
why
no,
are you still fighting?
Miller didn't pop back to back 3 times, but he popped back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, to me, like, comparing with others is never like, I mean, you're always gonna try to draw parallel with other fighters, right? But it doesn't mean, like, I don't see anyone saying that, no problem, Povetkin should be allowed to fight on PEDs and stuff like that. I'll be behaving the same way if Povetkin popped dirty, right? I'll be saying that, hey, he's not allowed to box and that shouldn't happen, right? And that's what we said. We need to fix that problem across the board and throughout the sport, right? Not trying to give anyone a pass, you know.
Damn, wait a minute. His old promoter. This is weird. Because she put hashtag Big Baby, hashtag Greg Cohen Promotions, hashtag boxing. Now, me being the decipherer that I am, all I can get from this is that she's saying Karma is a bitch, ain't it? Question mark, hashtag boxing, meaning you left us, you shit on us, you went to Bob, and now you popped again. Which I don't get, because when he popped the first time, she was the first one really behind him. So I could be reading it wrong, but you know, she's got one tweet says, Karma is a bitch, ain't it? Then the next tweet, she's a cup of coffee. So you get it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm a screen share it. It's better to do it than say it. You know what I mean?
I don't know 100% what you're saying, but I feel like, you know, it's like salty promotion.
No. And based off the face she making, she's laughing at Big Baby. They not friends no more. No, this is her.
But that's the thing, like, you know, would she have covered up if he was still on the promotional banner? Probably yes, right? And so resentment is probably in how he treated her after he popped dirty the first time or whatever, right? So I don't know. Like, it's saltiness rather than just trying to fix the problem of PEDs and stuff like that, right? So that's how I read it.
Hey, man, I don't know, man. It's all unfolding real time with you guys live, so that was interesting. We're going to go out to Idris in the UK. Talk to us.
Yo, real quick, how long was the suspension for Big Baby?
I think 6 months. But I don't. Right? But you gotta fact check, because I don't think it was an actual suspension.
I am. Don't worry. I am.
Hey, and real quick, Alexander Povetkin, he had an indefinite ban that was eventually lifted, right?
Yeah, because he always goes to court. But Google search. Let me go to Idris.
Yo, hey man, Big Baby Miller, man, what's wrong with your guy? And that's your boy, ain't it? Like, ain't that your like boy, your boy? I say you got him on WhatsApp, don't you? Listen, man, the guy. Listen, I don't know if he's got a wife, a girl, you know, a baby mama or anything like that. But if this guy got people that he like, you know, he has to actually, you know, he's got kids and whatnot. This guy, what is wrong with him? What is wrong with him, man? The first bag he fumbled, was just like, you know, set by the second chance. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Bro, I don't know, man. That's grounds for divorce right there, man. That's real grounds for everything. I'm not gonna lie. What are you doing, man? His career is over, man. He done himself, man. But I will say, man, let's see what really happens, man. And let's see, who's that white chick that manages him, innit? I think that's
Nah. He's done. She's done with him. If you talking about Serafina,
then if you're talking about her that made that tweet, then I reckon you're right about what Karma. I think she's against it.
Yo, man, you're right though about one thing, man. His family got to be pissed off,
bro.
This is
after the first time around where he actually came out and he said it. You know, I let people down and all that. Like, what do you do now, dude?
Well, I was definitely right. Reading through Serafina's tweets, someone said, "You're the first person I thought of when I heard the news. Hashtag Karma always collects." And she said, "You and the entire world." Ha ha.
Yo.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Just a heads up. It's been 465 days since he failed that test.
Okay.
That was back in March 20th, 2019, right? June 20th, June 27th now. So that was 16 months ago. So it falls within the parameter of what you're saying, but that's a long time ago. I don't know if I can get on board with that narrative.
Listen to me. He's the first person in boxing that I know of to pop for EPO. Like, he was taking hardcore shit.
Yeah, EPO is like, that's
people,
the
designer.
Listen.
Yeah,
people,
the stuff that Lance Armstrong took.
He even got caught with GH350. He took like 3 heavy duty things, and people are popping for like orally ingested. They're taking testosterone, putting it under their arm. My man was injecting, so it's different. But
Bro, it's all across the board on sports. Period. It's just that we're talking about it here. But PEDs, man, they run rampant. Yeah, look, Dr. Mofongo mentioned a couple. Remember Clemens, Barry Bonds, head grew like 4 sizes and shit. Armstrong, A-Rod, all these top dudes, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. Everything that I'm like, I don't know why today oh, okay. What was that? Then today I got into thinking like, yo, like who are the true stars of this world?
Yo, so someone is questioning. I like the conspiracy theorist. He says, so everyone on the panel believes the test is legit. What if it's one of those false positives like Michaela Mayer?
Oh, that's what I'm
talking
saying.
about, like COVID, or like because that's what
No,
we're talking about.
We're talking about the test. We're talking about the test. You know?
I mean, like,
because think about it, Mitty. Yeah. This would have been a urine test, not a blood test, because they're not doing anything special.
I don't know like what type of test it was, but one thing I would say is like it's promotion. Like Bob would not come and talk about the substance like and confirm that is one of the 3 substances that he popped for before if it wasn't a test that was genuine in any way, right? So, and that's what we discussed at the very beginning, like how genuine is it? We need to wait a little bit more longer, but then very quickly within this call, we found that this was genuine, and we're getting more and more information. So, I don't know if there's like a B sample that we have to wait for, and then maybe that's what we have to do. Okay, no problem. But the A sample, is genuine, and that's what he popped for, and soon we'll know the substance.
Yo, she's active as hell on Twitter. Somebody was like, relax, everybody. I'm sure at Serafina will have a great explanation about this that can explain all this. And she said, nope, he's on his own now. Crazy, yo. Crazy.
But that's the thing, he's on his own now and everything. For me, the feud that they had and whatever argument that Big Baby had with her, it's down to business a business agreement, right? So how you treated me, how you left me, how you went with someone else, that's okay. But if she's saying that actually she knew what was going on when he was under his management and it wasn't on his own back then, and I can spin something.
But that ain't what she's saying. That ain't what she's saying. That's what you insinuating or assuming, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming because I don't know the story.
No, and that's fine. I'm not mad at you. I'm just laughing at her stuff. She's got more, right? So, Jamel Herring, the WBO lightweight champion, replied to her tweet saying karma is ain't it? And he put the John Cena emoji. Let me show y'all.
John Cena.
He got that, and then she put at the bottom R.I.P. Greg Cohen Promotions. So very interesting what's unveiling him, because I seen someone else say, "Oh, you should work for Eddie and work on his YouTube channel and do his fights." And she was like, "I would love to work for Eddie if he would have me." I'm like, "Oh." So maybe she's out looking for that next job right now. But look, that's it. We got to all the callers. I'm going to double check. I'm going to go to Majid. Majid, I'm going to give you like a couple seconds. You said we hijacked your call. My bad. Majid? Oh, you good?
Yeah. You let me go. You remember I made a mistake and mixed up the names.
Okay, cool.
But everybody liked the video again. Yep.
All right. Let me see here. The PED is one of the 3 Miller tested positive for a year ago. GW1516, which aids in aerobic power and endurance. So he got popped again for that stuff that kills people.
What's the name of it again?
GH, the same thing that the girl, Fucci or Fooch.
Fuch.
Genie.
Fuchs.
Same thing Fuchs popped for, GW1516. That must be some good What the heck? Yo,
that's crazy. That's that designer shit, bro.
No,
that's that shit you pay
if
like
you Google that,
$600-700 a bottle.
Champion, if you Google that, it's banned because it kills people. Like they tested on rats. It was killing rats.
So check it out. What does that tell you, Ness? That somebody with full knowledge.
No, now we need to Google. Damn, I want to end this show, but we need to Google
It's
now.
gonna
How long?
be there
How
to-
long
to
does G
administer
Mario? Tell me
these
you Googling that. Tell me you Googling how long GW 1516 stays in your system.
Already on it.
That's what we need to find out. What is the most extreme case that GW 1516 can stay in your system? Google has all the answers. Let's go.
It's so
All right.
crazy,
Well,
man.
anti-doping authorities have a test for GW 1516, which is relatively easy to find in urine with existing testing procedures, as it is not a naturally occurring substance in the body. What's more, clinical research shows that the drug is detectable as long as 40 days after a single dose.
But it says it's active for half that time. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but you got
guess so. You can detect it for
so
up
yeah.
to 40 days, but it's working for
for 20 days. You get
okay.
the benefits of it.
Gotcha,
like,
gotcha.
so,
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
So let me tell you this. Well, I don't know if this is the same way. It's 50, 15, 16, right? GW 50, 15, 16?
GW 15 16.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. How long does it stay in your system? Yeah, no, I think, this one says GW. I don't know if it's, let me just make
40 days, just over a month, right? A month and a half or something.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it has different chemical names for it. GW 15, 50, 15, 16 is just another one. All right, so let me read that. It says, how long does it stay in your system? The half-life for cardarine is about 24 hours. That is approximately one whole day. So you just need to take a dose only once a day. See, this is something I would have to go.
No, you got to search how long. Not in your system. You got to put detectable because that's the word for test. In your system just means you're digesting it or you're on it.
So detection.
Yes.
All right.
Detect in your system.
Man, that must be like a lost link too, because I could imagine people would want to know, to cheat. All right, let's see right here.
It's also known as SARMs, SARMS.
Yes, yes. It's popular but deadly, man.
So I'm telling you, I read this up for the first time.
They tested it on rats. He said that's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've taken that. I took it at a time when they didn't really have a lot of research on it or studies. They sold it to me over the counter. I swear to God, I'm not lying. They sold it to me over the counter at a supplement shop here in my city. And they told me it was super safe. I took it. I got strong as hell. Okay? And then later, I found out how dangerous it is for you. I mean, I was putting poison into my body. So, and again, I got this from a place that if I wanted to, I could go get it right now. They still sell it. It's one of those like supplement shops it's not like a GNC or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy that you want it so bad, right? Like he wanted it so bad that he put this in there.
ASADA, the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Authority, has advised that cardarine has been seized at the border by Australian Borders and Forces as a prohibited import on multiple occasions.
Yep. And I'll give you another report from the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Authority. It says GW 1516, also known as the GW 1516 cardarine and endurobol, was originally developed in the 1990s as a treatment for diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular, right? It was discontinued in 2007 after it was linked to the rapid development of cancer during the trials on mice. So you're putting something in your body that could give you cancer.
Give you that. Wow. That's crazy. But someone
so let
in
me
the
tell
chat.
you what it does. It's crazy, right? But look what this does. GW 1516 works by forcing skeletal muscles to use fat rather than carbohydrates as an energy source. Be able to burn more fat. Used by some for fat loss in the context of athletic enhancement. Stop eating them burgers, you lose weight. GW 1516 also has benefits as an endurance aid. And I could just give you this last little.
It sounds like it does almost everything that clenbuterol does, but it's more deadly and it's crazier, right? So that's what clenbuterol does, right?
Is
So
it cheaper than clenbuterol?
What,
it's
SARMs?
Yeah, this GW50.
Oh, it's way cheaper.
So that's why,
way,
man.
way cheaper.
That's why it's more accessible.
I mean, I guess if you're in Mexico, that might not be the case, but I could tell
Just
you
eat meat.
here.
First of
I
all,
could get
let me
SARMs
tell
like
you,
that for like a fraction of the price that I
we're
could
gonna
get
end
Clem.
it with this.
you.
We're gonna end it with this. I believe if Top Rank wants to defend him, they still can, because there is limited human studies, so there's no way to tell that it doesn't stay in your system that long, because they don't study human beings. Obviously, because it's a deadly drug, they only study rats. So if they want to stand by him, they could stand by him and blame it on the old substance. It's just the bottom line. From all the reading I'm doing, there's no way to know how long it stays in your system. Look, it says, first of all, we all metabolize it differently. It's just one thing alone. So
Biologically different.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, but isn't it harder now? I mean, like, listen, you're asking this promoter,
just
and
hear
I
this
get it.
out.
They put
Just
money
hear
into
this
them,
out,
so it's an
bro.
investment.
Hear this out so that you don't
Okay,
think this
go
is
ahead.
my
I'm sorry, go
theory.
ahead.
Long-term consequences have not been discovered yet due to the low number of clinical trial performance. It's just that simple.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly. That's
just
the
that
issue
simple.
with every single aspect of steroid use, amongst the general public, is that there is no, like, people think that there are definites, or that people know everything there is to know about steroids, and we don't know the long-term use. We don't know what the benefits or the side effects are from long-term use. I mean, yes, there are some clinical there are some things that we know, but it's really, I mean, there's no clinical trials on this stuff.
And what happens too sometimes, I don't know if I'm right in saying this, Mary, but like a guy will take one steroid and then they'll combine it with something else, and then combine it with something to try to like kind of counterbalance whatever the other one was gonna do, and it's like you just don't know, because it's one of the three, and we still haven't been told if there's others, or if it was just that one that he tested positive for. So like sometimes, because you could pick up, right, Mary? Is it not true that like you can literally, like, I might not catch you for, let's say, clenbuterol, but I might catch you for the masking agent. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that happens quite often.
That happened to Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, that happens quite often.
See?
In the Olympics, that's
I can
a lot
say
of
it
times
now.
you'll see
I can
that.
say it now. Chavez ain't gonna be no champ. Chavez popped for weed, but we all know he was popping for a diuretic. Listen, I've been having my hand up for a minute. What I'm trying to do is this. This is the only trials they've done. It's been very, very few. One, and again, I'm building his case. They need to hire me as a publicist because I can make it sound very believable. There's only a 12-week treatment. That means that the person took the drug for 12 weeks. And these are human trials, all right? The other one was for 4 weeks. The other one was double-blind, where are you at? Phase 2 trial, clinical trials, D. Stage 3 interim analysis. Okay, I don't have it. The next one was 6 weeks. And then they stopped it. Now, there was another one of 12 weeks and another one of 2 weeks who got hospitalized. All right?
Damn.
Yeah. Wait, well, I should actually read all these because now some of them are resulting in increased concentration. Ooh. What?
Super chat real quick from Scat Rants. He says, "Thanks for sharing, Mario." Crying, laughing out loud emoji. No problem, y'all. My people, I share with my people. LV Slugger says, "Salute TBV. 3 shows before I go to work. 8 hours today will be a breeze. Thanks for the great content. Hashtag TBV for life." Shout out to you, LV. I hope your day goes by fast, man.
So while the person was hospitalized after only 2 weeks of daily use, he still resulted in good proteins. Were measured. In vivo fat feeding studies were conducted. The human skeletal muscle cells were treated with the GW501516 in vivo and equated for a limited related gene expressing and fatty acids. Whatever. I don't know.
Real quick, let me just tell you, right? Like, GW 1516 is a SARM. I guess it's not a steroid. So I took a look at what are the differences between SARMs and anabolic steroids. And I mean, if we could go on and do a whole class on this, but just to real quick give you an insight on what that means. It says some SARMs are anabolic, muscle building and function, but they work differently than androgenic anabolic steroids and are therefore less powerful but less dangerous too, right?
Yeah, they're all PEDs though.
They're all PEDs, right?
Yeah, they're just not all anabolic.
Okay. I wanted to know. So it says administration of AAS is adding hormones such as testosterone from an external source and allowing this added hormone to basically carpet bomb every system, including the musculoskeletal system. And that's what we were referring to before when it forces you to use the fat instead of carbohydrates. Yeah, it's very dangerous, though. It says
it is super dangerous.
Of course, this grows muscle, but prolonged exposure and/or excessive dosing unfortunately grows other things that we don't want, like the prostate or the heart and other internal organs. Very dangerous.
Yeah, steroids do that too. So see, look, like SARMs, you want to stack something with SARMs. Like it would be, I'm not saying it's a waste of time to take it by itself. It's not, but it's definitely not as potent as if you were stacking.
Is Deca and Winnie fall into that?
Those are anabolics.
Those are anabolics.
And those are like hardcore anabolics.
Yeah.
Those are like you're going to break the home run record anabolics.
Yo, so they were running studies on rats, and they were doing from 30 to 100 milligrams. And they were doing it to pregnant rats.
Wow.
And, so they were getting some deaths whenever they would go above or at 350 milligrams. But then when they were doing like 275, they would get poor fetal growth. So the ones that did have babies would have obviously deformed babies. So, yeah, some crazy sheesh.
Just goes to show you know what I'm saying, how far, some people can go, man, to put themselves at risk, just to try to make something happen, man.
So again, all I wanted to say with the studies that the biggest one was 12 weeks, and we all can, like the same way we claim Margarito was wearing wraps forever, we can all at this point with all these positive test results for Big Baby, we could all assume this dude's been doing this for a while, which means long-term use, longer it stays in your system. That being said, these tests, they did tests on some of these rats for up to 2 years. And
that's a long time.
And they showed significantly, there was a significantly increased risk of developing a range of all kinds of cancers. So, yeah. All right, but we're out, man. Catch us on the next one. SGC on Instagram, Twitter. Peace.
At Martin McGee on Twitter, at Martin McGee on Instagram. Peace.
Catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_LAINEZ. TikTok, same handle. You can actually catch me on Twitter, AlexLinusTBV. Cheer! We went full time on Saturday.
Yeah, it was fun. Good topic. And I can't wait to do it again. So catch me when you catch me.
Later.